hopefully you joined us yesterday for a cup of tea last night. If you didn't, why not? Get over there now and check it out. We've not done a cup of tea in ages, and there was so much tea left in the pot. We've decided to pour ourselves another one now with the leftover dregs, the leftover questions which Geo has got now. Geo, what have you got for us?
We're going to kick it off with season expectations. It's a bit early, but the reason I'm doing it, because it'll be interesting to see how our expectations change throughout the transfer window, if that makes sense. So it'll
Sure.
be interesting to see what you feel right now, prior, at the time of recording. Downs isn't a hammer yet, but 3 signings essentially. So what you're feeling. So question 1 is, what do we need to achieve this season as a minimum?
Before I do that, it's actually someone left a comment the other day, and I was talking about it does tie in, it has to do with it. And I was talking about Newcastle and Everton being linked to the same players. There's this thing at the moment. West Ham, Everton, Newcastle. And I said, well, Everton are skint, right? They had to hurriedly sell Richarlison. So clearly they have a finite amount of money. So they've only got the 50, 60 million to play with. And you have to assume they don't have loads of wages. He was looking, is his name Mashiri? I think his name might be Mashiri. He was looking to bring in new investment. And even I think Peter Kenyon tried to take it over. Anyway, so I don't think they got a lot of money. And somebody said, it was really interesting in the comments, that actually Everton would be our main competitors next season. And I thought about it. I thought, no, I think they might get relegated. And I know it's hard with the teams coming up, but I just wanted to say that now in terms of season expectations. I think Everton might get relegated. There you go. Now I can either look an idiot or not, but there you go. Probably will look like an idiot. But anyway, so West Ham's expectations, what have we got to do next season? Geo, the big one is we've got to get through that qualifying round, because we could look very, very bloody silly if we don't get through that. So I'm sorry, qualifying round, I'm obviously talking about the Conference League. That's the main thing. I think if we can get out of the group stage of the Conference League, get to a quarter final, a semi-final, and this is not particularly going to be popular maybe with a lot of people. If we can do that and we can get top 8, I'll think it's been a tremendous season. I really will. To do something like that, have 3 seasons on the bounce, and actually you could actually look at it negatively. You could look at it and think, well, hold on a second, we finished 6th, 7th, then 8th. We're only going in one direction, but I don't think that would tell the full story. Honestly, if we can, I think it'd be unprecedented for West Ham if we can put in a 3rd decent season in a row. I certainly can't remember it in my lifetime. Not even close, mate. Be nice to have a run in a cup. Be nice to take a cup seriously. Top eight, and either one of the 3 cup competitions, mate.
I'm going to go further than that. Win a cup. That is my expectation. Now, obviously, there's sort of mitigated circumstances in some of them. For example, Europa League, because of what Aaron Crespo did, if something like that happens again, well, it's out of our hands kind of thing to some extent. But we've got to win a cup next season, because we've had it good the last couple of years. We have played well. We've got a good squad. We've got to capitalise on that. If we finish 8th and we don't win a cup again, therefore no European football the following season, there's only one direction we're heading in, and that is backwards. I always say to you, there's no such thing as standing still in football. You're either going forwards or backwards here. And no European football would mean no Declan Rice. There might be 1 or 2 other players at the club to catch I've had a taste of European football for 2 seasons on the bounce now, and I really like it. I want it again. West Ham haven't got it to offer it to me. And you see loads of examples, including in the Premier League, where someone like Leicester might be in European football. They'll keep the players. They come out of it for 1 season, and in that season, 1 or 2 of the players are like, right, that's me. I'm off now. Thanks for that. And they're not loyal to the football club per se. They might play well while they're there. It's a job. That's their employers. And when they get unhappy with the workplace, they go to another employer. And we have to win a trophy next season, I think. And if we don't, I think we've got to finish in the top 6 of the Premier League, which will be difficult. I'm not looking forward to us trying to finish in the top 6 next season. I think we'll finish top half, right? I think worst case scenario next season, we might finish 10th. Okay, I think that's what I would consider a bad season, which sounds mental, doesn't it? One awful season, only finishing 10th. But I think we're in a really good place so far today. But finishing top 6 will take some doing next season. With, Man City and Liverpool are uncatchable. We know that. Tottenham are going to be closer to Liverpool next season than they were this season. And then you've got Chelsea and Arsenal fighting out for 4th and 5th, probably. That leaves one spot with us, Newcastle, Manchester United. It's going to be tricky to get into the top 6. So that's why I think silverware is an absolute must next season, Gonzo. I think it is. Otherwise, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? We have to capitalise on this.
No. I agree. I do think the league is going to be interesting, though, because obviously just how it works out mathematically. People talk about, teams getting close to Liverpool, getting close to City, that Chelsea might be up there, that Tottenham can't be up there. Obviously, just mathematically, how the league works out. All these teams can't only lose 3 or 4 games next season. There's going to be teams amongst those who lose a lot more than that. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it works out. And I do sort of look at it in terms of if we can shore up our defence, which I know sounds boring, because I do think we can score goals. We alluded to it in a cup of tea last night. I do think we can score goals. If we can concede 6, 7 goals less, that incrementally, I think that does make a difference in points. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Before we get on to your next question, may I please point you in the direction of the OneFootball app, which you can download by clicking that link below, or I need to make some space for it, actually. That QR code that's just sort of up there. Normally, there's plenty of space when I publicise the OneFootball app, but Geo is cramping my style and cramping the screen. Geo, give me 2 reasons. Come back and give me 2 reasons why people
it's in my way now.
The OneFootball app.
It's completely free. But it really is fantastic. It genuinely is. I use it every single day. When I load up the app, it's got the Premier League, the football news there on the front page. So I get the big news, what's going on around the grounds, if you like. Then I click on my profile, click on West Ham. Then I get my club-specific news within about a 5-minute browse. And we all go to the bathroom for 5 minutes now and again. Use that 5 minutes, have a little look at the OneFootball app, and you know exactly what's going on in the Premier League. So when your mate says to you, hey, that's a good signing for Arsenal, isn't it? You're not going, who? You go, I know. I see it on the OneFootball app.
There you go. Best of all, it's free. Download it. Use link below. Don't know you've come from Hammer's chat. Hit me with another. Don't actually hit me, obviously. Another question, please.
Well, we sort of spoke about the striker situation last night, but Mike's saying, do you believe we will sign a striker, a decent striker, within the next couple of weeks? So we spoke about how important it is, but now we're on to prediction time.
Well, he said 2 things in there which completely change the nature of the question, which is a decent striker and in a couple of weeks. No, I mean, you've hit me with 2 parameters there, I'm afraid, my friend, and that's going to be a no. Do I think we'll sign a decent striker in the next 2 weeks? No, I mean, we were talking in a cup of tea about Darmesh and how he's getting a lot right. Darmesh said to us about the Broja stuff. He said, this one's going to drag. That's what he said to us in the video. This one's going to drag. This one's going to take a lot of time. And, there's no reason to disbelieve that at all. And it's quite funny, actually, because people generally are consistent. Moyes' character traits are his character traits. And if he's decided that's really who he wants, we know what he's like when he gets his teeth into something. He's quite persistent. He's quite dogged. And as could be seen with the pursuit of Jesse Lingard, even when he's being totally and utterly rejected, he's still going to go for it. So if he has any inkling that the Broja deal is going to happen, but it might take a little bit longer, he'll stick it out. And that worries me. That's the thing that worries me. Not that we've identified him, not that we can't afford him. How long will he stick with it and then not move to his sort of second choice? I don't believe that that Flynn Downs is probably his first choice. I think possibly we know it's not, but I think he's quickly moved on from whoever he might have wanted in central midfield. In fact, do you know what? I haven't got that. I'll take the championship one I was looking at. Now, I do think there's probably a striker who is a second or third choice behind Broja. 2 weeks? Don't think so, mate.
I'm a bit more optimistic than I should be, but I think it's because I'm sort of riding the Flynn Downs wave here, which is we're getting stuff done now. We're just getting stuff done. And if you think about it, in 2 weeks' time, today when you're watching this, it's obviously the 7th. So in 2 weeks' time, it'll be the 21st. I mean, that's quite late on in July, isn't it? It's only a couple of weeks before the season starts. So there is a little bit of me that's optimistic because obviously now we've got the centre back, we've got the goalkeeper, we've got the centre midfielder. There's not that much work left to do. We need a left back, an attacking midfielder, possibly another centre midfielder, depends, and a striker. But I feel like that attacking midfielder, for the reasons you've just given about how David Moyes is a pit bull rather than a Scottish Terrier when it comes to people he likes, I think we're going to wait for the Jesse Lingard thing. So it's sort of like, well, that leaves two positions then, the striker and the left back, doesn't it? So we've got to be working on something. And I'm a little bit hopeful that out of three of the 4 Mondays, we've had an announcement with Aguero, Ariola. We missed one, and hopefully we'll get Downs on Monday or something. So we've got a little bit of momentum. Rob Newman, well, we might have been a little bit wary over him stepping up into a different role because he was a scout at Man City. Well, can you do as a director of football? Well, he's not doing too bad so far. It seems like he's really adapted pretty well. He's got the ball rolling on a lot of things. And while, yes, I know what Darmesh said about Broja, but when Darmesh said that, Chelsea hadn't signed Raheem Sterling. And more importantly, I think Chelsea weren't after Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo hadn't made it clear that he wanted to leave Manchester United. Ronaldo's circumstances have changed since we spoke to Dermesh. He wants to leave Man United. He's not at their pre-season so far. He's a bit annoyed that he's had these wage deduction because they missed out on Champions League football. He's only on £360,000 a week now. Don't know how he's going to survive on it.
No.
So I understand why Ronaldo might want to move. But now Chelsea do want Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's reports from a week ago suggesting the new owner met Mendes over in Portugal about Ronaldo coming to Stamford Bridge. If the interest is genuine, they need cash, and they need cash quick. And the best way to do that is to say, hello, Mr. Sullivan, you want Broja, 25 million, 30 million, he's yours, take him. Because how much would Ronaldo cost Chelsea? 25 million, maybe? Bear in mind how old he is. Maybe about the fee that we'd pay for Broja. Would Tuchel swap Broja for Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh,
say yes.
Yeah, but the owner as well. I mean, I hadn't even considered this. I mean, on that US model of the branding and the shirt sales, all the rest of it, being able to, because he's a global name. I mean, they'll American sport. There'd be people in American sport who would know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. A big brand ambassador and whatnot. That would tick loads of boxes. I hadn't thought of that. I know we got you on for a reason.
So circumstances change. That's all I'm saying. And Chelsea's and Ronaldo's circumstances have changed a lot since we had their mesh on. And I'm a bit more hopeful about the Broja deal in specific, to be honest with you. Nick says, why do we keep missing out on players to smaller clubs? I hate this phrase, but smaller clubs such as Hickey to Brentford.
Look, I mean, I know what I think, but I'm going to just let Geo speak on this one, really. I don't think we were ever interested in him. I think that's it. I don't think Brentford are paying more than we were willing to pay or paying more wages or anything like that. I just think he was never, ever on Moyes' radar. I think it's Adam Plozek, basically, again. I think it's us as fans who expect, because we know the player's good and we would like to see him at West Ham. But actually, I reckon David Moyes probably looked very early. And there would have been something. I don't know, something. He's not quick enough, or whatever the case may be. You'd have seen an attribute for actually, I don't fancy him.
I completely agree with you. I think it's choice. I think we don't want him. I think there's probably, I'd imagine we've had a look at him. David Moyes will be aware of him. Statistically, his numbers are impressive. So Jordan Miles will be aware of him as well. And for whatever reason, he said to David Moyes, here's one left back that his numbers ping up. And David Moyes said, I'm aware of him, thank you. I don't want him. He's a Scottish left back. I know who he is.
Yeah.
Thomas Souček, I don't know who that is. Tell me more. Tell me more about these players. Even Flynn Downs, not too. Tell me more about him, please. Thank you very much. Hickey, I know him. I don't need to know anything more. I don't want him. I just don't think we wanted him. And he's going to Brentford, or should we say we're allowing him to go to Brentford, or Brentford to have a one-horse race for him, because we're not in it. Our race isn't even in. Our horse is not even in the race for this one, for whatever reason. And I think there's probably an element of 2 and 2 coming up with 6 here, which is we know West Ham want a left back this summer. Hickey's Scottish. Our manager's Scottish. Hickey was very open about being interested in a move to the Premier League. So straight away, you take the Premier League, you rule out the clubs he's not good enough for. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, off you go. You get rid of the clubs that don't need a left back. You're probably left with about 6 clubs. And then you look at West Ham, need a left back, Scottish manager, 14 million. Oh, perfect. This one makes sense. And it did make sense. So I think that's why he's got linked to West Ham. And people like me get my hopes up and it doesn't happen. But
there you go. We can't always get what we want. And speaking of which, we're going to call it to a conclusion on that. Geo is also uploading a video later on today, I believe, which is going to be talking about Flint Downs. And I will be back tomorrow on this channel, and I'm actually going to be looking at that deal a little bit myself, but in particular the work that Geo alluded to it earlier, the work that Rob Newman is doing, and the surprise aspect of this, and quite how this is sort of
he might be
impacted,
officially signed by the time you do your video. Maybe
which would
announced
be
as a
great.
hammer.
Which would be great. So we could get a nice picture of him in the thumbnail and stuff like that,
Oh,
rather
yeah,
than
my
this
video
thumbnail,
be
which has got our
my
ugly mugs.
video will be medical done. Your video will be officially announced. There you go, sorted. Thank you very much.
Well, we'll rinse it for everything as well. But I'll tell you what, no matter, I'll leave you on this final thought. And thank you, Geo, for joining me today. The final thought is, no matter how many videos myself and Geo can do on Flynn Downs, it will be nothing compared to the sheer number of videos we've done on Jesse Lingard. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.